Hey guys, it's Tarot by Tess. This is Adventine reading. I originally made it for Virgo, and then Death popped out. And after looking at the reading, it's something that I'm seeing also goes with Scorpio. So, Scorpio, you get a bonus, and it's going to be the same thing as Virgos. So, maybe you're working with a Virgo somehow. All right, so originally, Virgos, this is for you. Scorpio, you just kind of tagged yourself on. All right, so Death popped out. So I see Scorpio, but I also see an end and a new beginning. Somebody's closing a chapter and needing to let go. And it's a very sudden and intense change that's happening here. This says you need to leave the past behind. That doesn't mean people, it could just mean the situation. And I think you get a revelation after some unexpected event, and there's a need for you to recover. There may also be a need for the police if there's a crime committed. I see some kind of corruption. And I'm seeing also, you need a change of mind. That's going to be probably a subheading or a sub idea in here is the letting go of something by changing your mind. All right. At the bottom of the deck, we had Three of Pentacles reversed. I see somebody leaving a job. Three of Pentacles talks about also complete and total transformation. And I think it's in the workplace. And you get a whole new job. I see somebody leaving a partnership, somebody moving houses. So you could be no longer living with a partner, because this seems to have a lot to do with business and love at the same time. I see you having lots of obstacles. Somebody who's a little, they're skimping in the love department. They're not really handing out their love. They're not doling it out like they should be. Somebody be being petty about something that happened, childish, and they haven't let it go. I also see just getting out of a team, getting out of a union. Somebody's not cooperating. I'm also seeing be positive, just don't slack on whatever it is you're intending to do. I see take the high road, and somebody be submissive to a new partner. I'm not sure who it's going to be though. Yeah, but something won't be accomplished in love or in work because somebody's not cooperating. All right, so let's start at the beginning. Ace of Pentacles reversed. So this is usually a missed opportunity, a bad investment, wrong direction when maybe you thought it was the right direction. Just loss of money. This is the wrong path. And then it's clarified by the Eight of Cups. And we all know what this means. This means leaving, okay? So perhaps you had invested in with somebody. Maybe you moved in together. Maybe you joined with a partnership. And it didn't meet your expectations. And so I see you are leaving, you're checking out. You're leaving a bad job, a bad relationship, a bad partnership of some sort. You're just leaving a situation that wasn't right. It doesn't have to be bad, it just has to be wrong. I'm also seeing loss of money is affecting your relationship. Some partner have a lot of debt that you now have known about. Yeah, somebody's checking out of a bad investment. And then I'm seeing somebody took your money and left in the middle of the night. But also, I mainly see you seeking a new opportunity from something that wasn't so good. It can also be that you need to leave behind this money loss, this bad situation that you've been somebody betraying you. And then with the Eight of Swords over here, upright, I'm seeing you're probably in the dark about this. And there'd be possible like bankruptcy. It doesn't have to be full-on bankruptcy. It could just be the loss of a lot of money. Maybe dollars. And then with the Nine of Pentacles over here reversed, I'm seeing loss of a beautiful home, and we have loss of a comfortable home. So I think you may have to move. This be you having to move even though you don't want to. Maybe you can't afford your house anymore because somebody did you wrong or you lost a job. But Nine of Pentacles reversed talks about the end of luxury, the end of a good home, no longer enjoying the good things in life, the simple things. But I also see failure of a business, failure of a relationship, a toxic relationship. And then your plans just kind of go up in smoke. And keeping all those cards in mind, when we have the Four of Wands and the Three of Pentacles, this is some kind of group that was not set on a firm foundation. Okay. And just the business, the structure, whatever it is, relationship, business, it was not successful. Okay. So again, we have business failure, not panning out. And it's due to a lack of cooperation, a lack of firm foundation. And somebody just kind of bows out of the situation. And there's no new beginning for somebody who left at some point. And since something's not right, you're in search of something that's true. If it's a bad love situation, then you're out seeking true love because you realized it wasn't meant for you. But then we have the Tower reversed and the Four of Wands. So when I'm seeing that, I'm also thinking of the Death card here. Normally, Death and the Tower say that there's some kind of sudden, intense change, and it's not caused by you. But you see here the Tower's reversed. So one, it could be caused by you. But two, it could also be that it's not as an intense change as you thought it might be. That doesn't seem to ring very true, but that's a possibility for some people. Because what I see here is a lack of something being set in stone. The end of a relationship, probably a marriage. But see here, the house. This is a structure that people would dwell in. Same here. But you see the Tower is risen. And the Four of Wands upright is freedom from oppression. So you look, they're both upside down. So they weren't cemented very well. And usually when that happens, the Tower comes down. So if it's not ready yet, there might be a need for some kind of delay or postponement of a wedding or building of a house. Yeah, you need to be a house flipper, or you move around a lot and something's just not ready, and so there may be a delay. I'm also seeing that you need to become much more committed in the future, and you're probably focusing on the negative a little bit too much. And again, I have a bad surprise and a bad surprise. And I'm thinking the bad surprise have to do with a creative adventure or endeavor. Because with the Tower and the Page of Wands, it says you're doing something creative, like a business. Because this can be going off and starting a new business. Because where you're at isn't good, but perhaps the business doesn't succeed either. But I'm seeing that you're going out into the unknown, and it brings a big transition or transformation. You're trying something really risky, okay? And what I'm seeing here is Nine of Cups reversed. So it's not going to be what you wish for. Or be careful what you wish for, because you're going to get it and it's not going to be what you want. I also see somebody being greedy and probably taking your money and going off somewhere. Yeah, I'm just saying the definite need to move on from something, letting something go. And somebody might have some abandonment issues with the Tower and the Eight of Cups. This is a necessary conflict or a necessary change, so don't fight it. And somebody's seeking to belong. Somebody want to settle down with someone. You need to seek the help of some kind of expert or a broker who can help you plan better. See, this is having a new beginning after something ends. And then it's the path to exhaustion or bad news. There you go, right there. But I see the parting is still at a good time. It's meant to happen. And if you're not checking out a relationship, then check to see if your partner is. I'm seeing that you feel like there's a need to move away from a disappointment, but I don't think you get very far. Just in case you don't know, that's an air freshener. So that's what that noise is. But I also see a job loss, like you're being rejected from a job, or you're being rejected from a relationship. Could be a possible third party, but I mainly see leaving a house, no longer living together. Alright, so also let me think. I need to stop going so quickly. Here I'm seeing this is a temporary failure. So again, you may be more committed in the future. I also see, you're probably a transient dweller, okay, forced to sell your home or forced to get a divorce, and you're just jaded, and you've decided not to invest in something. I'm seeing there's some kind of destruction within a structure. So it could be an organization, some kind of business or a relationship, marriage. I'm also seeing like a coworker or a cohabiter makes your life miserable, and so you decide not to invest. Because usually the Tower talks about roommates and stuff. So and we have the move in together card. Let's see here. Alright, so Page of Wands, Nine of Cups. Also with that Tower reversed, I'm seeing that somebody might warn you of the pitfalls of this. And you might be saying, thank you so much for warning me of that. Because then it could be the Tower is reversed, so it's to a less degree of damage. But I also see some kind of action that you're taking, some kind of move is not going to fulfill your wishes. I'm also seeing a lack of success in social media, and possibly you think starting over or rebuilding won't work. It could be you were flipping a house and somebody came by and the foundation had a crack in it. Okay. So rebuilding not work, or it cost you a whole bunch. And then for those of you who somebody took money from you, like you lost some money, with the Ace of Pentacles and the Page and the Nine of Cups, I'm seeing that you can't get your money back. With the Ace of Swords, I'm saying you might as well just let it go. With the Death and Page of Wands, I'm seeing a big move into a new way of life. And you're not going to be bound by some previous structures. Okay, we have Ace of Swords and Eight of Swords. Those are really closely, they sound the same a little bit, Ace and Eight. Okay, so Ace of Swords is clarified by the Eight of Swords. Ace of Swords is reversed, so if this is something that's a forced triumph, it ends in disaster. But this tells me that you may be thinking too much with a defeatist type attitude, and you're thinking like a victim. It could be that some kind of a failure or a job loss has put you into like bankruptcy type of mindset. And yet you're supposed to be getting a fresh start, some kind of mental clarity, but it's not here. So when you get this opportunity to start fresh, the reason why this move or this action isn't going to pan out, it's not going to fulfill your wishes, is because you go back into the same mindset. You think you can't get out. You don't take this time to recover. And so you need to do something different to get some clarity. I'm also seeing a disaster could have been prevented. Possibly some kind of action wasn't taken, or somebody didn't accept responsibility. And somehow or another you put up with whatever this is. Let's get a clarifier. What action can Virgos and tag-along Scorpios, what kind of action can they take to prevent going back into this cycle of bad thinking? Six of Wands. So think victoriously, think success. So the need to visualize and manifest what it is you want. Trumpet your own horn, possibly. I'm just seeing change of mind. It'll bring about success. I also see taking action on something you want. Also being noticed. And Three of Pentacles reversed means not being noticed. So perhaps you weren't feeling special at a job or in a relationship. And here you're getting the attention you want. But you're not going to get it with a victim mentality. And usually Eight of Swords talks about being rescued by a Scorpio. So for you tag-along Scorpios, you're going to have to rescue yourself in order to be successful. You have to save yourself, get out of this mindset that's keeping you from being successful. And with the Death and Ace of Swords, I see you need to change your mind. You're not, and that's the problem. You need to. I'm just seeing lots of stress and things are just multiplying on you. Like the debt be multiplying. I also see a delay in a relationship. And this is not communicating very clearly as well. So you need to make sure people hear what you're saying. I think you're waiting to hear from someone too. I think you may be afraid of being exploited. Possibly some kind of infidelity, only in some cases. And your willpower may be fading. You feel like giving up because your relationship's in danger if it's not already over. But this victim mentality is not your fate, okay? If you use your willpower, you can have a new beginning with some relationship or even get a promotion. Okay, let's move on to Six of Pentacles and the Hierophant. Hierophant is clarifying Six of Pentacles, which that doesn't usually happen. It's usually the other way around, but whatever. Okay, so I see The Six of Pentacles, especially with Nine of Cups reversed here, be careful what you wish for, because you may get it. Also see the need to question your motivation. Again, I see that also with the Eight of Swords. Question like what your motivation or your thinking has to do with what's going on. And I think you feel obligated to something that you thought you wanted. And when you got it, now you just feel kind of trapped and obligated, yeah. With the Tower over here, I'm seeing like there are some things you can't control. And that way you can't control your destiny. But there are some things you can control. For instance, how you think and what actions you take. And I'm seeing other people do play a big part in all this. And you may be convinced of something, or you may ask for some resources from someone who would help. And I see you may be afraid to ask for resources because you think you would get exploited, or you may seem different in someone's eyes. I'm not sure what that is. But I see if you ask, somebody will be generous and give you something that you need. But I don't think you want to have an obligation towards someone either. This would be the only way to have a new start. You can also be interacting with somebody who is convinced they're right about their cause. So don't let this person make your plans. If somebody invests with you, don't let them draw up the plans for the business, because that's probably why it fails. You have been generous in letting this person have a part in your business, but make sure you're controlling it and not them. Because I can see this Eight of Swords is you not having any control over something. I do see some kind of bribery. Okay, let's see. Five of Cups reversed. Nine of Pentacles reversed, clarifying. So I'm seeing you might be losing out to a corporation. Oh, yeah, here they are. Okay. A corporation that has money, and you obviously don't for some reason. I'm seeing that you need to accept this loss and help other people. Get help from other people, sorry. I'm also seeing a new home and new work. And then the Eight of Swords tells me you may get some material wealth from settling down in a new home, or just for settling maybe in court. You may get a payout. For those of you who are divorcing, you may have to pay money, alimony or child support in a divorce. And that could lead you to thinking negatively about your money situation, when really you should think about it more positively, that you're giving it for a good reason. I'm also seeing reconciling and then settling down in a new home. And also the advice here is you're probably afraid of commitment, or somebody was afraid of commitment. And somebody's going to put some stipulations on you, some ground rules. In that case, that's okay. That's not making your plans for you. This is setting up some rules for when somebody will come back. I think they put the conditions that, well, one, somebody's waiting to reconcile with you, or you're waiting for someone to reconcile with you. And the point of this card being reversed is you get to see what's left of this union. Before, it probably wasn't very good. So it'd be somebody from the past, because I see reconciliation from someone in the past. And maybe this person gives you money and you feel a little dependent on them, and you don't really like that because you don't feel self-sufficient when you do that. However, I'm seeing that you're going to finally see the good, what's left in this situation. You're going to come out of some sorrow. And if you reconcile this person, you say, okay, but you have to settle down and live with me. Or you have to get married. So this may be somebody giving you conditions. Like, yes, I'll give you what you want, but you have to make me a partner, or we have to have a commitment, some kind of a marriage or something like that. It may be you have to pay some high taxes for a business that maybe wasn't quite reported. You may be, again, getting some kind of a loan, which is resources. Could be a broker seeking their advice on how to start a business so it doesn't end in failure. See, I'm also seeing achievement through hard work and your wit, being very vigilant about what's going on around you, because you have a frenemy in your midst. Also, I do see now is the time, whatever's going on, so that's good. Yeah, somebody's just going to give you something from the kindness of their heart. Could be a Taurus. Could be some kind of, yeah, like spiritual church, some kind of community group. But it's corrupted, it's damaged. What is the overall outcome for Virgos and tag-along Scorpios for the month of Venteen? 7 of Wands. So defending yourself against something, needing to be motivated, and just holding your own, standing your ground, being king of the hill. I'm seeing the need to accept someone when previously you may have felt like they were criticizing you a whole lot. Oh, now we have the Chariot. Okay, so we have 2 sevens over here. Let's talk about completed cycles. So before, you may have felt very defensive with this person when you thought you were going to be successful. So we have 6 and then 7 of Wands. And then we have the Chariot, which is the Cancer card, because it's my card. And I see being successful, but needing to use your willpower, needing to make sure you toe the line of moderation, and you're going to have security, whereas before you didn't have it. Lots of insecurity over here, and I think you're going to get it. But you're going to assert your independence. You're going to have your protection from the future. Again, I see expansion. And if there's a decision to make, I see the need to get moving, possibly traveling, and just go for it. And with the 6 of Wands, you'll be victorious. And with the Ace of Swords, you're going to be unstoppable. And I see you being released, but you need the police involved somehow with the Death card and the Chariot and the 8 of Swords. So maybe the police somehow get your money back, but from what I'm seeing, you're not getting it back, so you might as well just cut your losses. And I'm also seeing that you're going to need to fight to enjoy the fruits of your labor. You're going to have to fight for your vision. Maybe there's some kind of success in public speaking or teaching people something. And then again, I see settling down. Yeah, you fight it, but you're going to need to settle down, and it's going to be victorious. So this person, if they're making contingencies, like they're bribing you pretty much, okay, I'll do this for you if you do this for me, and they want you to commit. If you do, you're going to be very successful. I see somehow your wealth and your happiness is contingent on a relationship. Maybe, I don't think you like that they're kind of like your sugar mama or whatever, but that's a little bit of what I see in here. Not everybody. Don't apply gender, it could be anyone. And then with the Chariot upright, it's like that Ace of Pentacles turns around at the end, and you have a new job. You have a new vehicle. You have travel. You can get a passport to travel. Sorry guys, it's past my bedtime. But with the Chariot, you're going to have to be very sensitive instead of defensive. You're going to have to mirror this person's emotions. And I think being with this person will protect you for the future. But you have to be a little selfless and sacrifice in order to get this victory. When it comes to love, what messages are there for Virgos and tag-along Scorpios when it comes to love? I didn't want to go in there. I'm just thinking with that 8 of Cups, you were seeking to belong somewhere where maybe it wasn't very settled. So it could have been abandonment. You're abandoning something because you felt abandoned, and you're seeking to belong to some kind of community or relationship. And that may be why maybe you put the constraints on someone to say, okay, we can get together, but we have to get married at least one day. And that talks about, we have 2 settling down cards, well 3, and no longer moving. Like you finally find the house you want. You finally get the relationship that you're looking for, some kind of stability that you didn't have previously. And it could be due to some kind of abandonment issues. I'm glad that you decided to move on from something that wasn't right and something that wasn't steady. Something that didn't make you feel safe. Let go of control issues. Yeah, now I know Scorpio is supposed to be in here because I always get this. Let go of control. Allow any situation to unfold naturally. Somebody's not forgiving and learning, but remember your advice would be to do the opposite. As you release and heal the past, possibly abandonment issues, you experience more love in your present moments. make the effort. So take the steps to make the effort with somebody. Okay. Good. Well. Okay, it says calling in your soulmate. So you're not calling in your soulmate, but you need to. And it's by making the effort. Okay, now I see reconciliation in reverse. So I'm wondering if you think it's not going to work out if you reconcile. Because there were a few things in here that talked about that. I think with the Page of Cups, Page of Wands and Nine of Cups and the Tower, I'm seeing, that move or that action won't get you your wishes. But then we have some other things where you get to change your mind about something. And so this is you with your old mindset, not reconciling. Then you change it because we asked to, and then you do towards the end. So someone from your past is returning to your life. But maybe it's not very soon, or you won't be changing your mind anytime soon. So possibly make up your mind. Because it says to clearly decide what you want. So it comes to you now. Yeah, the Sun. Okay. So I was asking why is the Four of Cups here in reverse and why is the Nine of Pentacles here in reverse? And we got the Sun. So this means that people will see you in a positive light. Something will come to light that will help you get your freedom. With the Chariot here, it talks about victory with a heightened social status. And see, you're going to master something. And also see, maybe you needed some space, but love will be on the horizon. And the wait is almost over. Like the Chariot here, something's coming towards you. This is new love, new job. I think you're getting both. Overall, just success and positivity. Oh, and in reverse, this means don't settle. But here, this talks about yes, settle. Because anytime you have the Sun, that's a yes. And then this talks about settling. I don't mean like settle. Maybe it is settle in court for some people. Maybe somebody offers you something in court and you settle. And then you begin, if you're getting a divorce, maybe you decide to give someone the house. But mainly I see somebody's saying, we'll get back together contingent upon this commitment. This is saying, yes, settle down. All right, Virgos and tag along Scorpios. I hope you enjoyed your reading. Let me know how this resonates for you in the comments.